Dolphins thirsty, they never show no mercy. On the field or in the game, Miami knows how to play. Dolphins thirsty, we all get down and dirty. Tell you what you wanna know, it's the Dolphins Show. Quench your thirst for all things Miami Dolphins. They are the football kings, cause they play to win. Come on in and have some fun, whether we have lost or we have won. For all things Miami, it's Dolphins Thursday.
Hello, Miami Dolphin fans. I hope you're having a wonderful Wednesday as our Dolphins still remain on top in the AFC East. I don't know how many of you watched Hard Knocks last night. We will discuss that a little bit, of course, too. Some tear moments, a little bit of tear rolling down the face on some of those moments during Hard Knocks. It's hard not to after that Jalen Phillips story that they did. But overall, good feelings as the Miami Dolphins are heading off to face the Commanders up there in Washington at FedEx Field. So hopefully they keep their trend of beating the teams that they're supposed to beat. And that's what they've done very well this year. It's why we have the winning record that we have. And that the reason we can go up 3 games in the AFC East if we continue that trend this week up in DC. It's a must win. Stay 3 games ahead of the Bills because, like it or not, the Bills are looking a little bit better. Hey, Dad Dean, big fins up to you, sir. Big fins up to you. And Jay, if you're still in the room, big fins up to you. So the Bills, they look good against the Eagles, but luckily for us as Dolphin fans, they came out on the short side of the scoreboard, and that's all that matters. So that is good news on that front. So you win this week, 3 games up, and that's not that bad, man. You just take care of your business. And if Buffalo loses another one, you can have this wrap up pretty soon in the division. Who would have thunk it? I would have taken that at the beginning of the season, ran away with it, saying, yes, that's what I want. And I think we would have all taken, if you would have said at this point in the season that we had the potential to be up 3 games in the AFC East after, like I said, I'm not counting those chickens yet. But after 12 games, you could have told me we would have a 3 game lead because we haven't got to that next game. But if we can win this week, boom. After 12 games played, and you would have told me we had a 3 game lead, I would take that any day. That is awesome. I mean, that's awesome that we got that nice little comfort in the AFC East. Buffalo's playing better. There's other teams in the home, so just keep on taking care of our business and everything works out to the finest. And we will see this. The AFC picture as far as playoff season gets a little murkier, but a lot of those teams are going to be playing because the Ravens and Jaguars will be playing each other in the near future. And then you got Kansas City. They probably got the clearest path to the number 1 seed. And, we had our chance against Kansas City. We could have won that game, and we would have been in control of the number 1 seed most likely. But it didn't happen. We just got to take care of our business moving forward as of now. And I think our Dolphins would do that. Like I said, we're going to touch on Hard Knocks a little bit tonight. If you guys have any, if you guys watch it, I don't want to spoil it for you guys that haven't watched it yet. It was a good episode, though. Except for a couple moments of a little bit of sadness and what have you. And but overall, it was a great episode. We will also talk about Raheem Mostert as he continues to get near the single season touchdown records of the Miami Dolphins. He's approaching the overall touchdown record, and he's really close to the rushing touchdown record, which was by Ricky Williams back in the day. The overall touchdown single season record was by Mark Clayton, and that's right. That's within his grasp too. Yes, hooked up, Joe. That was definitely some floodgates opening on the Hard Knocks. You knew the whole episode, what was coming up, and then they even featured him. I wonder in the editing business, I don't do that as far as never had that kind of career. I wonder if they focus on a lot of topics or do they just happen to focus on Jalen Phillips that week, or do they cover a whole bunch of players? And once Jalen Phillips got hurt, they did all the leading up, mainly talking to him, because I had read maybe that a big focus was going to be Kristen Wilkins, but then the big focus turned to Jalen Phillips. So I wonder on that front from the editing, like, oh, we got to run with this. This is like the story, build up his character, how hard he works, have all of his quotes out there, have the coach telling him he's about to perform on the national stage for the world to see him. And, and then the injury happens to him. And it was tough when you saw his reaction. It was hard not to have a reaction of your own. And you don't even have to be a Dolphin fan, man. You just have to be a human, because you know how hard these guys work to get to that spot in their career and the sacrifice they put in the off season that Phillips did. He came in looking like a big dude he was already a pretty big dude, but he came in more ready to play. And just to know that he did all that time and commitment all to get out on a play that no one even hit him. You could hear he was mic'd up. You could hear what he said. And it just was a devastating injury. So I'm not spoiling anything about Hard Knocks, guys, if you haven't heard, because you all know Jalen Phillips got injured. And obviously you knew they were going to talk about it on Hard Knocks. But it was overall a good episode. There were some funny moments that gave me some laughter. And, it was good. It was well done. I liked it better than the first episode, Evan, and I liked the first episode. I just thought this one, you get to know the team, how close knit they are. You get a good feel of that in this episode. I like how it was done. I'm proud of my Miami Dolphins. All they have to do is keep on going out on the football field and proving they belong out here, and that's all that matters. So, as far as playoff goals, we are so close. Just win that AFC East. Most of you guys have already seen the standings because Miss Finns was doing the same thing. I had planned to put up the standings up there. But overall, it's very looking good. Let's see. What's Dolphin Dawn? Hey, Dolphin, big fins up. Nail those thumbs up, by the way, when you guys get a chance here in YouTube. Agree, Jay. Thinks the whole team would use JP injury as motivations to finish strong. Yes, I do too. I hope so, Dolphin Don. And speaking of JP, we went and signed JPP. And that sounds funny coming out of the mouth, I guess. But we went and signed Jason Pierre-Paul. And he was our second choice that week as they tried to get Derek Barnett. Derek Barnett was claimed on waivers by the Houston Texans, who had a higher waiver claim than what we had. So they were able to get him, and we missed out on him. But after hearing right after the news that the Dolphins found out, I guess they already had their backup plan. They went and they grabbed Jason Pierre-Paul to be on our active roster, because he has to be on the active roster because we plucked him from their practice squad. So there's no practice squad time for him. He has to be on the active roster. So he's going to be there. Now, they don't have to activate him for the first game. He could be inactive or whatever, but he's going to get he's there if needed, an emergency, break glass. At least we have someone. We really need Van Ginkel and Ogba to step up and show what they can do now. It's their time to shine, and hopefully we can get that moving forward. Yeah, fins up to all of you guys, man, for sure. Fins up to all of you big time. So the Jason Pierre-Paul, it's just an okay signing. He's had a great career. He's only appeared in one game this year. 2020 was his last really good year of production, but he's had a solid career. He can provide veteran presence, someone that's been there before, someone that's played on good teams, and he should be able to help in that aspect. Is he going to be as good as what Jalen Phillips was starting to ball out? No, he is not. He is not, but hey, it's someone that we signed, and we will see how it plays out. Hopefully, Van Ginkel and Ogba kick butt so much that we don't even have to worry about Jason Pierre-Paul too much. Yeah, have him come down the line, taking out, open up sacks for Chubb and Wilkins. Well said, Scotty. He's definitely going to be a role player in that manner, in that respect. Would have been interesting to see. They probably would have had the same goal for Derek Barnett. They just didn't get the waiver claim on him. So they went and grabbed him. I'm guaranteed that was their plan all along. Well, let's put a waiver claim in for Barnett. If we don't get him, let's go get JPP. And that's what they did. They went and got Jason Pierre-Paul. And hey, it's not a bad move. Something that was needed because you were going to fill that roster spot anyway, knowing that Phillips is done. You got to put him on the injury reserve, and you bring him back, and he should be in shape. He's been on the practice squad. It's not like he's been off season just doing whatever out there, fishing and golfing. He's been actually on an NFL roster, played a game this year, practicing every day. So he should come in football shape and help out our Miami Dolphins as we continue that push to be the number one team in the AFC East. Got to be that team first before you being about worrying about number one team in the AFC. Let's get to those playoffs by winning the division, and that's our goal, and I'm liking it. So if you guys all, Dolphin Don and you guys, I don't know if you guys saw the show last night, but it was good. There was one part I loved. It was also on the clip, so this is not really a spoiler. It was like the one that made the preview when Javon Holland, and I noticed it during the game. I go, where's he running? Doesn't he know about the extra point? But anyway, you see Mike McDaniel, he's like running all excited, going down the middle of the field, running. And then at some point, he's like, oh, wait, the extra point. And he turns around and he says, oh, wait, the extra point. So, and then he stands at the end near the tunnel looking at the extra point go in. So I thought that was funny. It just shows like he's so human. He's he's a great coach, but he's also like a fan in him. He has a fan in him, and more maybe so. All the coaches, of course, are fans of the game or they wouldn't be doing this for a living. But he's almost have the fan element of like fandom because he got so excited that he started running off the field and he goes, oh, wait, the extra point. So I just thought that was awesome. And it just shows he's like us. He got all fired up about that play as well. And that was just a break in the back of the Jets because we were all worried about it up until that point. You're like, man, why we're playing ugly? Yeah, at least he's coming off a practice. So I know we want Hepzibah death, but he has been. Yes, that's what. Yeah, exactly. That's what I say. At least he's been on NFL practice squad. He's been practicing out there in NFL practices, going through the drills, going through the motions, being a decoy. Probably like we got guys that are on our practice squad playing different positions. To get you ready for your week's opponent. So he's been out there. He's been doing active stuff. I like that a lot. It's really good that they signed him. Would have been nice to maybe get Barnett. Who knows? We will see what Barnett does for the Texans. But hey, at least the Dolphins, they knew they needed that need. It came this week. They put the claim in for him. They didn't get him. You can't blame them for not trying. They tried to get him. It's just waiver claim. We've had success this year, which is a good thing that we're low in the waiver claim because it means we are playing well. So I don't hold that against the Dolphins at all. They tried, they couldn't get them. They moved to the next option, and that next option is now on the Miami Dolphins. And we're going to see what he does moving forward. The Commanders game is all that needs to be in our focus now. We know we got a few home games in a row. We got 3 home games in a row after this Commanders game. But just get to through this Commanders game, continue to do what you've been doing, and the Dolphins will be looking very strong in the AFC playoff picture. I'm, for one, finally happy that we're not backing in, not looking in the hunt on the bubble. We are actually in the solid playoff division winning spot. It's been a long time since we had that. And I'm excited and I'm super happy. I'm enjoying each win. But a little Joe Rose, if you ever listen to Joe Rose, I guess it's like he's a little bit older than me because I was a kid watching him play, but he's in that age group too, where he's enjoying each win. He's enjoying the season as it goes. But in the back of his mind, he's like expecting almost the failure. So, but it hasn't dampened my enthusiasm for each week. But in the back of my mind, that's why I don't get into Twitter fights with Buffalo fans or Jet fans. To me, that's just not even worth my time. As you can see, I would humor Michael K when he comes in here from time to time. I don't mind their takes, but I'm not going to fight on Twitter about who's better, who's not, because I'm not out there playing. I just want to root for my team. Let them do the speaking for our fan base, and that's how I roll as a Dolphins fan. So I do worry about things going wrong, and that's just 2+ decades of not seeing our team win a playoff game. So, I think that's a natural feeling that you're worrying about, something going wrong. So it's like hard to get over, waiting for that other shoe to drop. But I am enjoying. I'm not letting it ruin it. I'm enjoying every week, every touchdown, every big hit, every big interception, everything that Mozart's given us, everything that Tyreek Hill, Waddle, Tua is doing for us. The step up and play among the offensive line, whether you want to credit Tua for the fewer pressures, credit Butch Berry for creating a good line, credit Mike McDaniel for having a good scheme. It doesn't matter. At least we're not saying our offensive line is god awful like we have for a few years. People have stepped up and performed well. Coaching has done a lot with this team. Whether you want to say it's Butch Berry, Frank Smith, Mike McDaniel, who knows? Who cares? Because on the field, they're doing what we want as fans. They're performing for us, and that's what I love. Hey, Timothy. Welcome, Timothy. Big fins up to you too, sir. And if you're new to the channel, yeah, please hit those thumbs up, as I like to say, fins up. And if you really like us at the end of the show, tackle that subscribe button, but make me earn it first. Steve Malloy, big fins up to you as always. We had a good, fun show last night on the Fins Talk Sports Network. A lot of fun. Talked about many of these same topics. Always good to see Steve pop into the room. Kudos to you, and kudos to everyone, in fact. So, getting back into the Hard Knocks episode, guys, if you are human, you're going to find yourself balling up a little bit when they get to the Phillips section of that show. Hard not to. Hey, back it up, Fin Podcast. Big fins up to you. Thank you for dropping in as always. Nail that button for me. There. I did my normal about 15 minutes of straight talk. Now let's get down to business. The Dolphins can be 3 games up in the AFC East this week. A full. Right now we're 2.5 games because the Bills still have that extra game on us. But this week the Bills are off. If we win, we will be 3 games up after 12 games of this season with only 5 games to go. That is a beautiful thing. That would really put us in control. I know we are like whatever the NFL, I think it was like we're like 99% chance, right? Was it on the Miss Finn's New York Times thing? She threw up there 99% to win, get into the playoffs, and 97% chance to win the division. Let's not blow that. That'd be an epic failure at this point. Let's not. That'd be too much heartache for a Dolphin fan to accept if we don't win the division at this point this year. I don't see that happening. We've done very well of not falling victim that other teams do to teams that you're supposed to beat. I expect that trend to continue this year. It will be nice to beat some teams with a winning record. Yes, we have beaten the Denver Broncos. To me, that's not moving the goalpost. That is a team with a winning record. Because if you're going to tell me, oh, but when you played them, give me a break. That is the most. So if you play a team that's 0-1 and you beat them, and then you're like, okay, you beat an 0-2 team, but then that team goes and wins the next 10 games and they're 10-2. You didn't beat a winning team. So that whole scenario is so stupid. So stupid. We beat a team with a winning record. And the team that we beat with the winning record is the team that we really beat. So, I mean, it's so silly when they say this stuff. And everyone was saying, oh, they beat the trash Denver Broncos team. Oh, that trash Denver Bronco team traveled into Buffalo and won. They beat the Kansas City Chiefs, and they split their game with Kansas City and were tough in the other game against Kansas City. So please get out of here if we haven't beat a winning team. That those people that tweet that out, get out of the. You're not living in reality. The Miami Dolphins have beat a team with a winning record right now, and maybe Denver falls horribly again. And I would have to say, okay, we haven't beat a team with a winning record. But as of right now, on November 29th, we've beat a team with a winning record. So please, Mike, okay, come on. I just got done saying that's the most ridiculous story in the history. This doesn't make sense. It's all based on what you're playing, what your team is. Maybe they got off to a slow start, yes, but they still are a good football team. It shows. That's all I'm saying, Mike. Okay, all I am saying. They beat your team in Buffalo, so that's all I'm saying. What's the Broncos struggling when we played them? Yes. But like I said, on the opening, if you lose if you beat a team in week 2, that happened to also be 0-1, but then they go and win 10 straight games. You don't beat a team with a good record because they were 0-1 when you played them. It doesn't make any sense to me. Hey, Ender, big fins up to you. Big fins up. And yes, Dolphins #1, baby. Thank you, Ender. You're #1 too. All of you guys are #1 when you're in here. Hey, we might have to play them. We may have to play them in the playoffs. We never know. That would be the ultimate revenge for them if they come here and beat us. You never know. But yes, we did beat a team with a winning record. We shall see. All of you guys, like I said, all of you guys are #1 in here. Other than Michael K, you might be 1B since you would never say a positive thing about the Dolphins. You don't say something positive about them being bad. I know your next bit of humor, Mr. Michael K. Like I say, we will see what happens at the end of the year. I'm looking forward to it. And Michael K, I don't wish the Bills' demise. I don't care. As long as the Dolphins do well, I don't care the Bills. As long as we beat them when that matters, if we have to play them in the playoffs. End of the day, I don't root. I just want my team to do well. I don't care if Josh Allen throws 50 touchdowns or 50 interceptions. I just want my team to do well. That's how I roll. So that's why a lot of Dolphins fans roll, I would hope. Yep. Yep. Denver has a better chance to make the playoffs than the Bills. Let's see. I think I found the page that you guys were looking at earlier. The Broncos have a 27% chance to make the. Oh, yes, you're right. To make the playoffs, and the Bills right now have a 14% chance. But like I say, do I put a whole bunch of faith into those numbers? Things happen because they rule teams out all the time, and the team gets hot, other teams get slow. But yes, right now the Broncos do have a better chance. Hey, Newfoundland. Good morning to you as well, sir. Let's see. Yeah, the Patriots are not very good. That is still. Let's see. To me, I don't even get into saying whether Tua's better, Allen's better. I don't care. Tua's on my team. That's the guy I root for. I already said that. Doesn't even matter. I don't care. I don't even get into that debate about Herbert and Tua. Who cares at the end of the day? The Dolphins selected Tua. That's the guy that's wearing aqua and orange. So to me, that's the guy I root for and I want to win. I don't care what everyone else does. That's how I like. I like David Woodley when he was here with Don Strock as his backup. Rooted for the 50,000 quarterbacks after Dan Marino. Yes, I may have stretched one or two, but basically feels like 50,000 quarterbacks since Dan Marino. But the one thing they all had in common is I rooted for them, and I'm sure all you guys in here rooted for them as well because they were quarterbacking our Miami Dolphins. And that's how I root for the laundry. I love the personal journey of the players, but at the end of the day, I root for the laundry of the Miami Dolphins. And that's it. Never was ill will on anyone on another team, but I don't really care. Whatever. I don't want them to get hurt, I don't care if they have great season, bad seasons. I just want them to, meet their journey and have great, times. But our players on our team are the ones I root for and the ones I want to get the W's and the stats and all that stuff that goes into getting W's. So that's where I basically stand on this whole comparison thing with other quarterbacks. It doesn't matter to me. I don't care. I don't care if we have a Trent Dilfer like quarterback and the Miami Dolphins win the Super Bowl with a Trent Dilfer like quarterback. I am one happy son of a gun. Sorry, mom, you're watching it, but a gun's not a bad thing. Don't worry about it. Son of a gun. but anyway, I know she'll watch this later. She always tells me she watches it around her lunchtime. So I would be one happy. What would you want to call? Would you like to call us clowns, Michael? Okay, so I'd be one happy clown if the Miami Dolphins win. And it's just like a Trent Dilfer at the point we win the Super Bowl, and we win because of great defense and a running game. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. I got to see a lot of stats by Dan Marino, and we didn't get that Super Bowl win. So I don't care about stats. I don't care about who's better than this quarterback, who's that. I just care about the Miami Dolphins winning and getting to the playoffs and winning some playoff games. Yes, the Bills as a team do have the 6 losses. Maybe some heads will roll if they don't end up making the playoffs. They may make the playoffs. Who knows? But I think some heads might roll in that organization if they do not get to the playoffs. But like I say, I care about the aqua and orange of the Miami Dolphins, and that's what we're going to talk about. So this Dolphin team reminds me, but one thing I do remember, last year we were 8-3, and I hate to say this because I've said this term before. This year at 8-3 feels different. But I thought last year's team was feeling different. I mean, we lost Tua, unfortunately, due to injury, and we collapsed last year. I'm old enough, and I know Hooked Up Joe's old enough to remember a 9-2 Miami Dolphins team to never win another game the rest of the season after reaching 9-2. And for you guys to make reference, what season I'm talking about is the year that Leon Lett touched the ball in the snow after we missed the field goal. He went and touched the ball. We got another chance, and Pete Stoyanovich ended up kicking the kick in, and we win that game. But guess what? As much fun and we gloat about that game and every Thanksgiving we hear about Leon Lett, we never won another game after that. Never smelled victory again. 9-2 and never had another victory. But yes, Dan Marino was out. But excuses are, we all have them. But that was brutal. So that's why it's sometimes hard for me to just admit that this Dolphin team is different because I just have that. Well, I don't have my shoes next to me. I was going to have a shoe drop. But that's what I worry about. Yes, Timothy. That was it. And we just, oh my God, that was a bad, it was, yeah, it's just, what I was saying. And I thought that was different. I remember because I watched that game because I went up there with someone that didn't know how to drive stick shift. And they said, hey, can you drive my car from Sheboygan, Michigan, all the way back to South Florida? And it had to be on Thanksgiving weekend. And I said, well, the Dolphins play against the Cowboys. So I go, as long as there's a TV somewhere. So they made sure I had a TV. We had Thanksgiving dinner with a couple of people. That's the one year I left my family to go be with their family. And because they were getting their car from a bigger brother who was in the Coast Guard at the time. So anyway, I drove all the way. I made sure. And I remember driving the whole way back thinking, oh my goodness, this Dolphins, no break ever happens like that to the Dolphins team. This year's different. We're going to win it all. No one ever touches a ball when they don't have to touch a ball for a team like the Dolphins. And then guess what? We never won another game. So that's why I get a little worried about saying this is the year. Yes, he is. I think so too, Dolphin Don. And you can see how close knit this team is. I'm sure you go around the whole league, we'd probably be saying the same thing. Man, this is one close knit bunch of guys. But this teams really seem sincere in their. And I think it starts at the coach. He treats them all like humans, treats them all like, hey, let's, we're in this together. I like it. It's really, really close knit, man. And like, I remember when they were talking about in the quarterback room, it didn't feel fake because he knows that other people are watching it, saying, "Oh man, you were in our quarterback room, and you're here saying that." Bevel was saying how this is like the best quarterback room he's had. It's just really, man, it's really is a tight knit group. I think they do galvanize around the Phillips injury. They're still going to have to do it on the field. He's still a big loss. There's no replacing that production. The man was balling. He was whooping out there. What word did he use? Whooping, 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 or something. One of you guys will remember. I know it's some word. Yes, the Hard Knocks was a real tearjerker. The show is a distraction, but at least it shines good light on our team and doesn't give anything away. Yes, I agree. Steve Malloy agrees too. I can speak for his behalf. We both felt the show is a distraction, but they're doing the best they can to work around it. And it has not cost us a victory yet. We've won the 2 games that they fought led up to as they've been following us. So we're compartmentalizing it. They're doing it. They show a little bit for the camera, but it's not distracting from the goal each week of winning the game. So that's the main focus. Would I rather them be on some other team? Yes. And would I be watching if they were doing some other team? No. I'd be honest. I had never been watched Hard Knocks before. Not even the last time the Dolphins were in it when Joel Philbin was here because I didn't have HBO back in the day back then. So now I have it because it's part of the HOA here. So I have HBO because of the HOA, all these letters. But anyway, so now I'm able to watch it. Never watched it when it was other teams. Didn't watch it in the beginning of the season when it was focused on the Jets in the preseason. Did not care. It's the aqua and orange. I'm watching it. I'm liking it. But yes, at the end of the day, it is probably a distraction. But it was not, it's very difficult not to tear up, especially when you see Phillips' reaction. And once Mike McDaniel comes out there and they all start talking, and he knew right away, man. He knew. So, oh, I think I tore that thing, man. He knew right away because he looked around to see if anyone had hit him or stepped on him. And then when he saw that it was just happened on his own, you could see he knew right away, right then, that his season was over. And that's so brutal because this young man worked so hard and they touched on his, and I knew this. I mean, of course, before it, but they touched on his UCLA days where he was even hit by a car. He's a gun came over all of that, and I don't laugh at him hit, but just trying to tell you how tough this guy is. Thought about giving up football, does not give up football, comes back, transferred to the University of Miami, still gets drafted in the first round, and now he has to go through this injury at his young age. It's really tough because it basically takes this season, maybe even some of next season, out of the equation. Hopefully he's young, he can get back, and we will see sooner than what we all anticipate. But man, it was hard, guys. Just so hard. I don't want to like ruin the whole episode for you guys, but just be prepared to have a little tear. And if you're one of those guys that don't want to, their wife or girlfriend or brother's sister, and if you're the lady, you get away with a little more crime. But if you still the tough little lady, have a tissue where, oh no, man, I got something in my eye. Get that excuse prepared because it's very hard not to tear up a little bit about seeing it. It was tough, man. Yeah. Yes. Very well said. Hooked up Joe. Well said. That's basically what it was. Yeah, Hard Knocks full episodes are on YouTube for free. There you go, guys. So if you guys do not have HBO, you can go find them floating around on YouTube. So thank you, Jay, for the 411 for our fellow Miami Dolphin fans. There you go. If you don't have that HBO, go find it on YouTube. And there's probably 1,000 other places out there and you can maybe find it. But thank you, Jay. Good info on that front. But as far as the Dolphins taking advantage of their situation this year, This is the year to do it. You got the Jets in dismay. The Bills maybe are starting to find their stride a little bit because they did destroy the Jets, but so did we. So it's hard to compare that team. But they did look good against the Eagles. But right now, they got themselves in a hole, and we just got to bury them in that hole and not let them out of the hole. And how do we do that? Just by continuing to win. And then they won't be able to bury themselves out. They may be able to fight themselves into the playoff picture, but they won't be able to get themselves into the division winning picture. We are up there, like I said, 97% chance to win the division. We just got to close that, make it 100% within the next few weeks. And it's possible. We can be 3 games up. And then if they go into, when they come back off their bye, if they go lose to Kansas City and we take care of business, hey, against the Titans and the Jets and the Cowboys, that's going to be a tough one. But we got 3 home games. If we can take, we might have it wrapped up by the Cowboy game if all goes right. That's asking for a lot. So I'm not going to get that cocky. 1 game at a time. Let's go beat the Commanders this week, and things will begin to settle in with a 3-game lead. Things will be looking very nice. Hey, Canes, Dolphins 89, big fins up. Always appreciate it. Dolphin fans, check out the deep zone. All right, guys. Hey, Jamaican from Zion. Thank you, man. From Zion JFC. Thank you so much again. Let's see. JP is well paid, lives a great life, unfortunate injury. However, I'm not feeling sorry for a millionaire in today's economy with homeless. Yes, Jay, I understand that. But there's different levels of, I know where you're coming from. I get it. Do I feel sorry for him financially? No, but for all the hard work and the guts that he put in and just to have his season, because he's going to be paid the same no matter what. But he'd rather be out there playing. That's all. That's all I'm saying. I'm sad for a lot of people that have tough things in life. This one is just brought to you right in front of your eyes in the TV. Yeah. It's an effect on the team and how they all work together. Exactly, Hooked Up Joe. That was well said, Hooked Up Joe. The tearing up isn't about him. It's more about watching the effect on the team and how they all work together. Yes, I agree. Yes, I had a little thinking before they really played the team aspects. Yes, they did. It's like they knew almost. I guess they probably cover a lot of players, and in the minute he got hurt, they said, "Okay, let's go with the Jalen Phillips," because they had a lot of footage of him that week talking about him. They had talked to him individually, and just like they had with Kristen Wilkins and stuff. So it was just, you knew it was coming, and that's why I guess makes it a little bit harder on that front. So, but it was overall, like I said, it was a well done episode. Shows the close knitness of her team, and I liked it. I give it a thumbs up, and that's how I would leave it at that. And as far as the Dolphins, this week against the Commanders. That's where it gets fun. The Commanders are a solid. We touched this on the show last night, but Commanders are good at throwing the ball. Yes, Howell can throw some interceptions, but he can get things done at quarterback if he gets on a roll. You cannot let him get on a roll. We will go into more of that game on our pregame show on Sunday, but even as the week goes on this week, but the Commanders play the Eagles tough both times. They're not a team that we can take too lightly. They're just fired the defensive coordinator. They're not good. We have to take advantage. This is a week that we should get our offense back on a roll because really the defense has stepped up. Yes, we scored plenty of points against the Jets. Keep it in mind that Javon Holland gave us some of those points. So, but overall, we played better. Our offense did well against the Jets. But, and I hate the but, turnovers. Turnovers you can't do. And we did 3 of them once again. We can't turn the ball over. Through the 2 interceptions is just something that we got to. And then the last one was just like, was a running back we had just signed off basically put on the practice squad and then elevate him that same week, just signed him. So there was a little miscommunication between Tua and the running back on what to do. The ball gets fumbled, and then, we had 3 turnovers. You need to clean that stuff up, but the offense did look better because the Jets defense is still legit. They got a really good secondary, and we still put 2 receivers that put up over 100 yards on them. And that's a good performance against that team. And we even beat, Waddle and beat Sauce Gardner on a deep play. Good to see. Get more of that. It should really get healthy against the Commanders this week. Get that running game going, but get that passing game fine too. Maybe get Tua out of a little bit of a slump he is with throwing some of those interceptions that he shouldn't be chucking up there. And maybe we get back on a roll coming back to Hard Rock Stadium. That's what I'm looking forward to on that front. Hey, Jason, big fins up to you. But I also feel we could. Hey, I know. Hey, well said. I think that's like the fear of every Dolphin fan, Jason. We just like for have a little bit of fear, but also confident. And it's basically well said. Nervous for the game, no pressure on Washington, but also feel like we could put up 70. Yes, I don't know if we ever put up 70 again, but I get your point. We could put up a lot of points this week. I'm almost expecting it. I'd be almost a little disappointed if the offense doesn't go out there. Yes, the weather might not be ideal. I haven't checked today, but I had checked yesterday, and they were saying there was a good chance of rain and cooler weather in that game. Not freezing or anything like that, but cool and wet. We haven't always necessarily done well in those conditions over the years. Hopefully, we put that narrative to bed too, and we go up there, get the job done, come back 3 games ahead in the AFC East. It'll be a beautiful thing. Hey, I'm gonna be. I know. There you go. I predicted a Holland. I threw him last, but I said a whole bunch. I said 3: Xavier Howard, Ramsey, and Holland. I said one of them were going to get an interception against the Jets. Sure enough, Holland got that beautiful 99-yard return on the whatever you want to call it, the fail Mary, and it was a beautiful thing to see. Maybe Xavier Howard steps up and he gets an interception this week, or a Cater Cole, but I do believe this is a week that we should be able to get some interceptions. We may give up some points too, because he does put up some numbers. It's what they do. They're used to passing. They're going to pass the ball, but I think it plays into our strengths a little bit more and they're not the bully type team. And I mean, I would think that the Dolphins and the point spread says the Dolphins are going to win, but that doesn't always mean anything. There's upsets every stinking week in the NFL. Luckily for our Dolphins, we've avoided them on our side of losing. So I like that. We've gone and taken care of business when we're supposed to go take care of business. Let's keep that trend going, and we will be the AFC East champs at the end of this year. So that's a good thing, guys. That's a good thing. Let's just enjoy it. And you guys have to remind me every so often to enjoy it. Because, hey, Daniel, Jason, I'm not over the look. No, I'm definitely not over. I don't overlook any games. Like I say, no, because I've seen this rodeo many times. I've seen the Dolphins be 9-2 and never win a game again that season. I've seen the Dolphins just as recently as last year. All of us have. It's be 8-3 and don't win until the very last week of the season where we don't even get a touchdown and we back into the playoffs because we needed another team to help us after we beat the Jets. We needed the Buffalo to beat New England or whatever it was. We eked into the playoffs. This year, I almost don't know what to do with the feeling of being in so much control heading into the 12th game. It's a good problem, it's a good thing. But yes, I and this team, they're focused. Mike McDaniel's message is going to be the same as it was against the Jets. They're going through some hard times. Their goal is going to be come out and get out of those hard times, and they're going to want to beat our butt. They just got rid of their defensive coordinator. They're going to rally around them. It's not like getting the hit of the new whole head coach, maybe, but they're going to want to rally around the interim DC. Just go take care of business, Miami, and hopefully that's what they're doing. Us as fans, can maybe look a little bit ahead to the next few weeks, but the team, is solely focused on the Commanders, and that's their goal this week. And I think they get it done. Hopefully, they stay. We need to not have any more injuries. It's too devastating to the team's chances. Hey, good morning, G man. Jason, everyone's saying the last game would be the for the East Crown, but I think we're no, I think that I thought earlier in the season, yes, I thought maybe the AFC East would come down to the final week of the season, but we have a chance to really take control of it way before that. We could be in control of it even before Christmas Eve's Cowboys game. That's things have to go right. We got to win and the Bills have to lose, but yes, we could definitely be in control. And if not wrapped it up, it would definitely be wrapped up by the last week if things just go halfway decent. It would a lot of things would have to go wrong if that kind comes down to whoever wins the division. That means we did a lot of losing, they did a lot of winning, and that would stink. So let's just get it done, fins up fans. The Commanders are fifth passing, but our corners should keep that from being a big issue. It should be rainy. Yes, that's what I'm worrying about. I mean, from our passing game. So that's why it'd be nice to go out there and establish that running game. But we are going to have to throw because we're going to come into rainy weather in the playoffs. We're going to come into cold weather in the playoffs if we don't get the number one seed, which would be the best scenario. Try to be as high as seed as possible. Like I know some people were in other chats saying, "Oh, I wouldn't mind being the fourth seed this seed." Hey, I would take the fourth seed because it means at least we won the division. But try to be the highest seed as possible to have as many home games as possible and a better chance if someone else loses that maybe shouldn't have lost, and you may have another chance to have that home playoff game. Be the highest seed as possible going into the playoffs. Because if you're worrying about, oh, I don't want that in the first matchup, then you don't belong anyway. You got to go out there and say, hey, we can play anyone. Go out there, be the highest seed possible, because that means as many home games as possible. And that's the best path to winning in the NFL during the playoffs is playing games of home fans at the home stadium, not having to travel, not dealing with weather that you're not really used to dealing with. All kinds of things factor into it. Crowd noise for our offense is a big issue because of all the motions and stuff we do. So get as many home games as possible in the playoffs. That's why I said winning the division was key all along, because winning in the division gives you one home playoff game at a minimum. So let's just keep out there with that goal for now and hope that other teams help us out, because some of it we can't control as far as the seeding, but what we can control is winning the division. Let's see. Dolphins need to get home field advantage in order to get to the Super Bowl. For sure. That would help for sure. And I don't see this team winning on the road in the playoffs. Definitely, depending on the matchup, it will be tough. Like going into Kansas City would be very tough. Going into Baltimore could be. We're going to have a taste of going into Baltimore here in the next few weeks. So we will have a taste of what it likes. We beat them up there last year, but it took a miracle fourth quarter comeback, as we all know. They just decided to open it up. We did a great comeback, beat the Ravens up there. But I have memories of many bad butt whoopings up there for our Dolphins. So hopefully they don't have to go up there. It'd be great if they take care of that regular season game. Then we're in really good position to have a higher seed in the playoffs than them. So that'd be the most beautiful thing. Go up there, take care of that business. Because if you told me, well, you can only win one of the Ravens or Cowboys game, I would take the Ravens game every single time. Hopefully they can win them all. But we do have some tough games coming up starting this week with the Commanders. They're not going to be a pushover. They're an up and down team. They've played some really good teams really well, and then they haven't looked so good. So overall, I say just go out there and do what you've been doing, taking care of these teams. That's why, that to me, that's not a bad thing. People like want to take that as an insult. As like, so right now the Reds, oh, I'm sorry, Commanders. I don't want to get yelled at. Commanders are 4-8. So 4-8. That's what I thought, but I didn't want to talk off the top of my mouth without really looking at it first. I think we finished the season undefeated for the season with. Really, you think we're going to run the whole table, Timothy? Now, you're really loving life. I don't know if I'm that cocky that we finished, what, 14-3 and have home field. Now, that, even, hey, I would lie. I would buy that book if you're selling it. If I could buy the NFL script and, you know, I would chip my money into whatever fan base gave the highest money. I think we were all chipped in for that script. But that would be, we will see. One will be, but a tough one, we probably need help. Chiefs and Jags both have really easy schedules. They will need to have meltdowns versus bad teams likely. Well, the Jaguars do have to play the Ravens here in a couple weeks. And who else do the Jaguars? I think they have another. Let me see. I was looking at, let me go Jaguars schedule. Jaguars schedule. Okay, here. Let's see. Jaguars. Oh, they still got to play at the Browns. I could see them losing to. Oh, that's my dog. That's my dog. Sorry, he's chiming in all of a sudden. I don't think he likes that. I said, hold on, let me let him out. Oh, never mind. My wife's letting him out of the room. So the Jaguars have to play the Browns still. They got to play the Bengals, but the Bengals are without Joe Burrow, and that's in Jacksonville on a Monday night. They got the Ravens in Jacksonville. Yeah, at the end, yeah, their schedule's not too hot. They only have to travel a few miles across the state to play the Buccaneers at one point on Christmas Eve. Then they got the Panthers coming into Jacksonville, and then they got the Titans. So the next couple of weeks, we need the Jaguars to lose for us. Could the Bengals beat them? I don't know. The Bengals have not looked good since Joe Burrow's been out, so I don't know. But that's their next game. Bengals at Jaguars this Monday night. Then they played the Browns at Browns. So that's, to me, the Browns could beat them. Then they got the Ravens and the Jaguars. And basically that's it. Those are the games that they have a chance to lose, is how I look at it. We will see. Yeah, had some money down for the Eagles for uh the hey, big fins up to you. Thank you, man. Thank you for coming in here. Hit that like button while you're here, which I like to call the fins up button. Timothy Rissy, it's only right at 50 years since the last time we won a Super Bowl. We need another. Hey, that would be perfect, man. Because last year season was the 50-year anniversary of the perfect season. This year is the 50th anniversary of our last playoff victory. And that's way too long. A half a century, way too long. And we're going on 2+ decades already, over 2 decades of not even a playoff victory, let alone a Super Bowl victory. So, I mean, the last Super Bowl we were in the teen, not our ages, but the teens. The Super Bowl number was in the teens. Now we're way up here. It's crazy, man. That's how long it's been since we've been in the Super Bowl. We still were in the Super Bowl when there was easy numbers to read in Roman numerals. I don't even know how to read the Roman numerals now with the higher numbers, but it's crazy how long it's been. Let's get off that and get into the Super Bowl and hopefully win the Super Bowl, because I've seen 2 Super Bowl losses in my life that I remember. So I've had enough of that. If we're going to get there, let's just win the darn thing and have our guys celebrate like it's the 1970s. So that's what I'm looking for. Hey, I would love that if the Bengals for the upset on Monday. I would love it. I doubt it happens because, man, the Bengals, I thought they would probably beat the Steelers even without Joe Burrow, but they didn't. They're just a whole completely different team without Joe Burrow. And I don't know. We will see. They just don't look the same as they did the past couple of seasons when Joe Burrow was out there throwing the rock for them. That was a devastating loss for them, and their season seems to be spiraling outside because they were one of my teams for that was going to be the tough one for the Dolphins to overcome to get to the AFC and win the AFC championship. The Bengals were high on my list of worries. Now they're falling off the map. But hey, if they could go in there and beat them, that would be nice. That would be a big help to our beloved Miami Dolphins. And at the end of the day, that's what we want. We want the Dolphins to get all the help they can. But yeah, they could lose to but we still got to win game because we're going to lose some games too. But they could lose to the Browns, and that could be possible. They could lose to the Ravens. We may want them to lose to the Ravens because we actually play the Ravens and can control our own destiny on that front. If you have confidence in this Miami Dolphins team, you would want maybe the Ravens to beat the Jaguars, knowing that you can play the Jaguars yourself and take that bull by the horns or the bird by the beak in that case. And you would have your control of your own destiny by beating them. You would have the tiebreaker if you finish tied with them and for the head to head. So just really depends. That's why I don't look at these games because even in that Texans and Jaguars game this past week, I was like, oh yeah, it'd be better for right now. But who knows? The Texans could have got on a roll and been really tough and had a high seed. It would have been nice, probably though, if the Texans could have beat them, but you never know because the Texans aren't that bad either. Texans, I think, got the Broncos coming up and stuff like that, but they could still make the playoffs. My biggest fear would be losing to the Broncos in the playoffs after putting up 70 of them. That'd be like a horrible story, but the NFL would eat it up. Oh, a team that lost by 50 comes back and wins in the, you know, but hey, I don't see that happening. But I kudos to the Broncos for not tucking and dying and just they could have easily just sucked. They were getting all the hate of the media. They've come back. They've played well. Kudos to them to getting to where they are, where they're on the cusp of being in the playoff picture. They're right there on the edge. Let's see what anything new in here. All I know, guys, is I'm about to wrap up. I just looked at the time. My hour is almost gone. I try to keep these to an hour. I appreciate all the love. We had a good turnout today. Really appreciate it. If you haven't done so already, make sure you hit the thumbs up button because Dolphin fans, you guys all are great at supporting each other. That's what we do. That's why Miss Fins is great. She will give me a shout out anytime she gets a chance. I give Miss Fins a shout out anytime I get a chance. Fins Talk Sports Network's another good one, guys. If you guys don't watch that, there's a lot of good ones out there. And the Back It Up Fins podcast, if you just like good, high quality pre-made videos of good facts, he's always putting out the stuff out there. Another good guy to make sure you go look. Guys, our Dolphins at the end of the day, I almost close this every time and every time we get to add another victory, we are 8-3 in control of our own destiny. It's a beautiful thing. I will sometimes get worried because I always suspect the other shoe to drop. Not that I don't love my team, not that because I think this team is bad, but just because I've almost come to expect Murphy's Law. If it can go wrong for the Miami Dolphins, it will go wrong. I'm trying to get over that because I am enjoying, like Hooked Up Joe said in the Miss Finn shows today, just enjoy. I am enjoying each and every win, each and every touchdown, each and every interception, each and every record that may or may not be broken. I'm enjoying it all. Each sack for us that we get, obviously, I think that goes without saying, but I'm enjoying all of that. But in the back of my mind, as a burnt Dolphin fan that's been there and seen it before, I always have that, oh, here it comes, here it comes, here it comes. And we're going to be going downhill from here on out. I hope we avoid that. And this year, Once again, I'm saying, oh, it feels a little bit different. I hope this time it really is a little bit different, a lot different. We needed to be a lot different. We haven't won a playoff game for 20 years, 20 more than 20 years since 2000. So if you hear me get a little down sometimes, it's only because of that, not because I really think I'm down on this team. It's just because I expect. That's why G-Man, he comes in here a lot, and he's kind of like me. He expects the worst sometimes to happen because we've seen this rodeo many times. We've seen this movie many times, and we just expect the worst. But with that said, you guys are the best. No matter what happens the rest of the season, Dolphin fans are the best. We stick together because we're always fins up, always thank you, Ender, and we're always and have each other's back. Him and on the mean social media where we may fight among each other, but if another fan base comes in and start knocking us, you guys always go out there. Like I said, I avoid the Twitter fights. That's not my thing, but I see it out there, and I appreciate Dolphin fans sticking up for other Dolphin fans. That I do. So with no further ado, I'm going to close out and wish you guys a rest of your wonderful Wednesday. Go enjoy it. Life's great. You guys are great. And you make being a Dolphin fan great. And hopefully the Dolphins keep on giving us a great season. Later, guys.
Dolphins thirsty, they never show no mercy. On the field or in the game, Miami knows how to play. Dolphins thirsty, we all get down and dirty. Tell you what you wanna know, it's the Dolphins Show. Quench your thirst for all things Miami Dolphins. They are the football kings, cause they play to win. Come on in and have some fun, whether we have lost or we have won, for all